Namaste everyone. Welcome to IAS Bharat, an initiative of Aram IAS. Now, this session will focus on environment syllabus, the strategy, and how you should prepare this subject for main exam. You all know that GS3 paper contains 5 segments. First, environment, which also include biodiversity conservation, environmental degradation and pollution, along with environmental impacts assessment, EIA. Another component or segment of GS3 paper is science and technology, then economic development, then security, and finally disaster management. So in this session, I am going to discuss about how to go about and prepare for GS3 paper environment subject. Myself, Neeraj Nachiketa, I teach this subject pan India. At the same time, I've been teaching this subject for a long time. We will go into every aspect of the syllabus along with the trend and the pattern. So let's begin there. So first of all, why it matters, GS3 paper, why environment matters. So if you look at the questions from 2013 onward, right, till now, 35 plus questions have been asked from environment. In GS3 paper, you will find the range of questions from 2 to 4 asked every year in the main examination, which include 150 words, 10 marker question, and 250 words, 15 marker question there. Now, 30 marks in mains 2025, you are scoring in GS3 paper as part of from the environment. Now, what is the nature of the questions? They are dynamic in nature, right? It asks more applied aspect of environmental science and what connect to day-to-day life, our governance, and which impact every aspect of the planet, biodiversity, wildlife, and human development. So many of the questions are based on government policies, programs. At the same time, they are linked with current developments. So I will go more detailed part of it. So this is where you find the part of. So it touches daily life, as I said. Like for example, I'll give you a very good example: urban floods. Nowadays, because of the heavy incessant rains, and you know that Chennai urban flood, before Jammu urban flood, Hyderabad urban flood, Delhi urban flood, Yamuna flooding, and one of the main reason is not only the monsoon and the heavy rainfall, but rather human development in terms of how the urban areas and the settlements are developed. And this is connected with disaster management. So current aspect of their air quality, like you all know that major cities of India, for example, Delhi smog is a big concern. So based on that, questions have been asked. Then coming to food security, which is also connected with economic development. Then India's global commitment, which is a very dynamic nature. Like for example, Paris Agreement, COP30, Belém Summit, right, which was in November 2025. Based on that, the question can be asked in the exam. India's commitment as part of Paris Agreement, that is a NDC, nationally determined contributions. There are questions which are direct. Even Glasgow Summit, COP21, that question has been asked. So that part you will find Paris Agreement, Ramsar Convention, India's commitment to conserve and manage wetlands. And as you know that now we have reached 100 Ramsar sites of India. So all this one heavy, high weight is given there and low competition. That means you can easily prepare and fetch very good marks in environment. It rewards the syllabus mapped. If once you have gone through the syllabus, understood the syllabus and the pattern of the questions, it becomes very easy for you to attempt these questions and write the answers. Further, if you look at here, 3 main pillars are there. One is the conservation, not only biodiversity conservation, but any aspect of conservation, forest conservation, right, aquatic ecosystem conservation, river conservation, wetlands conservation. So conservation becomes very important. Second pillar is that about environmental pollution and degradation, which is now a big problem, like garbage, solid waste dumping, right? Not only that, nowadays we are also talking about other types of pollution, for example, electronic waste, e-waste. Then you know that now nuclear radiation hazards, right? Apart from that, now you know that battery, which you know, electric vehicles and all. There's now emerging area how to handle those battery and battery waste materials. So many such areas which are connected with pollution of soil, water, air. There the question comes in the exam. Then a very important part of main exam syllabus, that is the environmental impacts assessment, EIA. Occasionally UPSC asks question like, you know, 2020 central government Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change came out with draft EIA notification. There where some changes have been made, and there will be a lot of discussion about new amendments, new things brought into EIA. UPSC has asked the question about that. So environmental impact assessment becomes a very core area of the main examination, where questions are asked with respect to the projects such as mining or any type of human development projects. At the same time, the policy guidelines, the notification part, and sometimes you have to compare with the previous notification of 2006. So again, dynamic nature of EIA topic question asked in the exam. Now going further, how to study this subject, right? So I have put across here, first build the conceptual base, and I'm very sure like those students who have written the prelims exam, they have prepared the entire syllabus of environment. So you know the core concept, fundamentals. Like for example, when you say conservation, you know about different types of laws like Wildlife Protection Act, Biodiversity Act. You know about conventions like Ramsar Conventions for wetlands, CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity for biodiversity conservation. Apart from that, other type of convention like CITES, CMS, you have read about that. If you have not done, then build that concept thoroughly. So first thing is that go through the syllabus. Second, government document. Nowadays, PIB, Press Information Bureau, has become really very, very important. Any update coming from Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, not only that, even other ministries and departments which are connected with environment, you should be thorough with it. So government documents like Central Government Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change documents, then Indian State of Forest report, government reports, PIB update, like all these you have to know. Now track current affairs. Current affairs become core of environment subject. You have to read the Hindu newspaper, Indian Express thoroughly, whatever the concerns and environmental problems which are under discussion. You have to be understanding the nitty-gritty of those problems, solutions, right? That becomes very, very important here. Then solve PYQs. So all these components in the syllabus, you need to practice previous year questions so that you have an answer writing practice of questions of 10 marks and 15 marks. Then finally comes writing with a fixed framework. You need some kind of data, right? Some kind of analysis, some kind of current affairs facts to write your answer, which will have a big impact on examiner who can give you more marks. So that is what is required here. Now coming to here, book list and study sources. So you know that while your preparation, you have been going through various books of environment, right? Today in the market, many books are there. But again, I always say that begin with NCERT. NCERT becomes the core. Class 12th biology, 11th and 12th, you have a environment chapter. These are very static part, very part of it. But again, the other part of syllabus you can cover from any standard book. Then report like Indian State of Forest report by FSI, annual report of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Then from PIB, whatever government schemes and programs are there. Let's say wildlife conservation, Project Tiger, Project Elephant, even for Ramsar sites, whatever government notification comes. What are the important highlights of those wetland conservation, rules, guidelines? Similarly, other areas of environment conservation comes into that. Then coming to very, very important thing, PIB, as I mentioned, go to the updates, the summary of the updates regularly, plus Down to Earth magazine. It's a very, very important magazine from Center of Science and Environment, as a bi-weekly magazine, and continuously from Down to Earth magazine, UPSC has been asking questions, not only in main exam but also in prelims exam. So this becomes a very important source for preparation of environment topics. So down to earth magazine, then the Hindu Science and Technology Environment Coverage, current aspect, and then comes a very important website of Government of India called ENVIS, ENVIS, Environmental Information System, that is a database where you have everything regarding government initiatives and protected areas, network, and even wildlife and everything you will find in ENVIS database. You can visit the ENVIS site for collecting the data, the authentic data of the government, right, which you can quote in your answer writing. Besides that, if you look at over the last year, from 2013 till 2025, the questions and the marks. 2013 it was 35 marks, then it went down 25 till 2017. Then 2018, 45 marks, it was that increase. 2019, it just again fell. Then 2020, 50 marks questions. Then 2021, 35 marks. Then 2022, again 50 marks. Then it declined in 2024, 20 marks. And then 2025, you have 30 marks. So average, if you look at it, fluctuates from a range of 25 to 50 marks. So as I said, 2 to 3 questions on environment asked in GS3 paper. So there is a trend what you can see now. So as I said, 36 questions have been asked so far. If you divide weightage wise, 3 component segments of the syllabus, let's say conservation, biodiversity conservation, wetlands, water, renewable energy, whatever, that carries 19 questions from 2013 onward. So that is 53% weightage. If you take environmental pollution and degradation, there are 11 questions, which comes around 31% of the total. If you look at the environment questions from 2013 onwards, and environment impact assessment, there are 6 questions, which carry 16% weightage. If you see, conservation and pollution and degradation are very, very important topics for environment subject in GS3 paper. For the 19 question to 245 marks from 2013 onward, largest share of the segment. So mostly biodiversity, then Ramsar site, direct questions have been asked, wetland conservation management policy question has been asked, forest conservation, then again energy part, renewable energy, solar power and all, then sustainable development, climate commitment, right? And now if you look at certain questions, let me just briefly go into that. Biodiversity, wetlands and ecosystems, 2023. Question was comment on the National Wetland Conservation Program initiated by the Government of India and name a few wetlands of international importance, including the Ramsar site. The first part is the government rule, and second part comes part of the names of the Ramsar sites, which is very easy to write answer. It's not difficult. If you know the government program, you can easily write the answer. You have to start with an introduction, then the body of the answer, and you can bring about that. 2019 defined the concept of carrying capacity from the sustainable development point of view. So explain how understanding this concept is very vital for sustainable development. 2018, how does biodiversity vary in India? India geographically is very diverse, right from Himalayas till south, western Ghats. Then if you look at northeastern India, then Gujarat and Maharashtra, we have a very diverse kind of a climate, vegetation, and at the same time the landscape and geography. Similarly, our biodiversity also change. So there the question was asked, how does biodiversity vary in India? How is the Biodiversity Act, BD Act 2002, right, helpful in conservation of flora and fauna? Then what is the role of the law, Biodiversity Act 2002, in conservation and management of flora and fauna, plants and animals, right, the biodiversity of the country? Then you can see here question 2018, what is wetland? Again, wetland question has been asked. What is wetland? Explain the Ramsar concept of wise use concept, sustainable use of wetlands. Direct question there. And then cite 2 examples of Ramsar site. So out of the total number of Ramsar sites, you have to only give 2 examples of Ramsar sites, that is a wetland of international importance. Then comes here 2018, Sikkim is the first organic state of India. What are the ecological and economic benefit of being organic state? Right, these all questions are very good questions. One can easily write the water resource and river conservation. 2020, what are salient features of Jal Shakti Abhiyan? Again, government program here, Ministry of water, then water conservation, water security. Then 2017, not many years ago, river linking project, interlinking of rivers. That was us becoming reality in the country. Discuss the advantages of linking and possible impact on environment. Advantage and at the same time impact. Then Namami Gange, National Mission for Clean Ganga. Namami Gange, National Mission for Clean Ganga program, and how it varies from previous schemes. And then what quantum leaps can help preserve the Ganga better than the incremental kind of inputs. 2015 question. 2013, enumerate the national water policy of India. Now again, see government policy is now National Water Policy of India, taking river Ganga, and right as an example, discuss the strategies which may be adopted for river water pollution control and management. Taking the example of Ganga, for how we can tackle the problem of river pollution entire India, that you have to write. What are the legal provisions for management and handling of hazardous waste in India? Right, dumping of hazardous waste. What are legal aspects? Then from law point of view, Environment Protection Act 1996 and hazardous waste handling and management rules. Based on that, you have to write the last part of the question there. Again, you can see dynamic nature of the question here. Then energy transition, renewables, 2022. Do you think India will meet 50% of the energy needs? Right, your opinion based question. Needs by 2030. Justify your whatever things. Then about subsidies from fossil fuel to renewable will help achieve the above objective. Your judgment, your viewpoint, a balanced viewpoint. Then 2020, describe the benefits of deriving electric energy from sunlight in contrast to conventional energy. Solar power, we are now promoting a lot of solar power with solar parks and everything. Then 2016, give an account of current status and target linked with the renewable energy and the national program on light emitting diode LED Ujala scheme, that was us. Then 2015, to what factors can the recent dramatic fall in equipment costs and tariff of solar energy, right, has gone into. Write a note on India's green energy corridor. Then you find 2013, what do you understand by the run of the river hydroelectric project? How it is different from other kind of hydroelectric project? Energy based questions continuously being asked. Then again, climate commitment and diplomacy, continuously question has been asked. 2025, Paris Agreement, write a review of India's climate commitment under the Paris Agreement. Mention how this has been further strengthened in COP21. That means current aspect of development of the COP meetings and the outcomes and NDC. Then you can see 2021, 26th session of Conference of Parties of UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, commitment made by India. Then explain the purpose of Green Grid Initiative. Right, that is again 2021 when the COP26, that is a Glasgow summit. That time the current question has been there. Then 2014, should the pursuit of carbon credit and clean development mechanism set up under UNFCCC be maintained even though there are massive slide in the value of carbon credit? Carbon market based question that was asked in there. So you can see these are overlapping with technology part of it, energy and all this part overlap with technological area, science and technology part also there. And also you can connect with disaster management. Now see here in water pollution degradation, air, smog, national climate action plan, water pollution, solid and toxic waste, oil, marine, coastal degradation, then global warming. 10 questions, 11 questions have been there, 130 marks, most current affair driven. So again, you can see the questions here, climate change part impacts. So IPCC report, 2023 question, global sea level rise by 2100. So what impact India will face? Then 2022, discuss global warming, mention effect on global climate. And then you have to explain with respect to Kyoto Protocol of 1997. Again, see protocol, convention, based on that impact questions are there. Then again, discuss in detail photochemical smog, how it is formed. Then again, the last formation, effects, mitigation, how we can solve it. Then again, explain 1999 Gothenburg Protocol, which European countries have got to control smog. So here it asks here. Then 2021, based on air quality part, WHO guidelines, it is asked that describe the key inputs of the revised global air quality guidelines recently revised by WHO and how this will be having what changes India has to make in the national ambient air quality. What we have a program by Central Pollution Control Board. That is second part comes. 2020 question, what are the key features of National Clean Air Program, NCAP program of central government, where we are trying to control PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5 and PM 10. So that comes into that. Then climate change is a global problem. 2017, how will India be affected by climate change? How Himalayan and coastal states of India are affected by climate change? Direct question. Climate change impact on Himalayan range, coastal areas of India. That global warming impact there. Then water, waste, marine and coastal. 2024, industrial pollution of river, water, environmental problem issues there. Various mitigation measures. 2023, oil spill. That was in the current news. So Chennai, that time the oil spill. So even what is oil pollution? Then what is its impact on marine ecosystem? And then water pollution particularly there. Each year a large amount of plant material, now see, 2022 cellulose is deposited. Now from linking with science part, how we can convert cellulose, that is biomass, into some other forms. So given here, what are the natural process by which it undergo changes before yielding carbon dioxide, water and other end products. You have to even know about the science behind it. Coastal sand mining, whether illegal or legal, poses one of the biggest threat to our environment. Analyze the impact on Indian coast. That is a 2019 question. Sand mining in coastal areas and its impacts. Then 2018, what are the impediment of disposing huge quantities of discarded solid waste which are continuously being generated? How do we safely remove such toxic waste, right, have been accumulating in the habitat? So now what you see here, again there is overlap. 2025, seawater intrusion and impact on coastal area, and again mitigation measures. So even you see the overlap with the social, economic and technological aspect of this. So this is where the question comes here. Then EIA part, like EIA 2006 versus 2020. Question has been asked. Project clearance, very involved clearance. Question is an NGO and activist role. Nowadays you find a lot of protests going against major projects. Then mining hazards, right? Go and no go zone for clearance of projects. Then rehabilitation of people affected by projects. Then thermal plants. These are the topics where UPSC has asked question on EIA. Let's look at the questions here. 6 questions, 75 marks. Fastest rising theme post 2020. So now look at here EIA question 2025. Mineral resources are fundamental to the country's economy and these are exploited by mining. Why is mining considered an environmental hazard? That question here. And then explain the remedial measures, right, required to reduce the environmental hazard caused by mining. Although EIA word is not there, but when you write answer impacts of mining, so one of the remedial measure very important is the environmental clearance process, right, which requires EIA study. So is an indirect question. Then you can see 2024, what role do environmental NGOs, non-government organizations and activists play in influencing environmental impact assessment outcome for major project? So it can be positive and also negative impacts, right? And cite 4 example. A recent time, any 4 is like Vedanta project, right? Mining of bauxite. There have been many such, environmental clearance and EIA report in the news. So those examples you have to write from the NGO and activist perspective. How it impact the major projects, whether it's a nuclear power plant or is it interlinking or river project, right, or any mining project. So that is part comes here. Then 2020, how does the draft EIA notification 2020 differ from the EIA notification 2006? Comparison, because that time it was brought by the central government, new draft. So there were discussion going on. Now 2016, rehabilitation. Rehabilitation of human settlement is one of the important environmental impact which always attract controversy. People getting affected because of the project, displacement. The social economic impact of the project. Discuss the measures suggested for mitigation of this impact while proposing major development goal. How would you solve the problem? That should come into the answer. Then coming to 2014, EIA studies are increasingly undertaken before project is cleared by the government. Discuss the environmental impact of coal-fired thermal plant. direct question, EIA for coal-fired thermal power plant. That was asked. And then you see 2013, what are the consequences of illegal mining? Right, discuss the Ministry of Environment Forest concept of go and no go zone for mining. Right, and you can see 2013 question been again repeated in another form in 2025. Environmental impacts due to mining, right, and the mitigation measures. So these are the 6 questions which asked on EIA part. So now coming to how to get more marks, what strategy should be there. So here you have to know the words very carefully. Whatever the words are there, you should be very thorough with it. Like, for example, discuss, examine, right, with both sides, giving a reason, analyze, break into parts, show cause, effect there, critically examine, weigh, merit, demerit, end with judgment. Then describe, elaborate. That means detailed factual account. Those keywords you should be aware of it. At the same time, how you can get more marks. Name a scheme every time. Whenever you write answer, you should be ready with at least one government program or policy or scheme which you will quote in the answer. Even it is not mentioned in the question, but you should be able to write it. Like Jal Shakti, NCAP, National Air Quality Program, whatever, right? Government initiatives are there. Then quote one data point. Always look into some current data which you can get from PIB, or let's say annual report of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, right? Current affairs there. So any report, government report like Forest Survey of India report or IPCC report, assessment report 6, or whatever the government initiatives have been taken. Then add a diagram to or flow chart wherever question allows. Make a flow chart, make a diagram, so that it gives more kind of presentation to fetch more marks. And then close with sustainable development goals is very, very important. When you conclude the answer, you should bring about sustainability and sustainable development goals, SDG. You should remember it, and depending on the question, you should always focus on SDG goals. So life mission of Government of India, lifestyle for environment, net zero targets, right? So all those should be the forward looking kind of thing in your ending the answer with the conclusion, way forward or suggestions, right? So these are very, very important. So strategic key takeaways are: first, 3 hits, no surprises. That means every question mapped with the topic UPSC has been asking. So very clear cut. If you prepare thoroughly, you will be able to write answer and fetch marks. Climate is evergreen, always based on climate, not only prelims exam, but also main exam and COP, which happens every year. Question has been asked. Answer need schemes, data, government programs, as I've repeated also earlier. Then conservation is the giant. That means conservation aspect you have to always highlight in your answer. That is a very key point. EIA is rising fast now. EIA topic, you have to read, prepare this topic thoroughly for your main exam, and then never skip the section. Whatever question comes, even it is a 2 to 3 question, but attempt it to score marks, which will give you an edge, right, in the main exam competition, right? So whatever I have tried to cover here, I think it makes make you understand things. Even more you want, you are always free to get back to us, right? So I'm there to get back to your comments and any kind of things you want to understand from my side and from IAS Bharat. So we are there, right? So please prepare your exam in a better way and get to your dream goal of becoming an IAS. So I wish you all the best. Thank you. Jai Bharat. Jai Hind.